Hi, I'm Marilyn San Clemente of Stamp with Marilyn, and welcome to my creative playground. Okay, so tonight I'm going to show you how to use this die, Give It a Whirl, which is a really cool die, and it lets you make these spinner cards. And I made this one, this Halloween card, with the witch, and have some spooky fun. And I just thought it's really cute, and you can do a lot of different things with it. So I also have an idea for a fall card, which I haven't tried yet, so I thought we would try that tonight. So these are the dies. And the way this works is you cut out, this is the front of the card, and you cut out a full piece, so it looks like this. And what I did, this is just a cheat sheet for me, so I cut out a couple of different full pieces, but I wanted to show you each the different types of windows that are available with this card. So this is a full piece, so you cut that out as your background part, and then this makes the spinner part. And what's really cool is it has the scallops on it, so it makes it easy to spin like this. And what's also really cool is it has these holes in it right here, so it makes it very easy to line the pieces up. So, and it's got 4 different types of windows. It's got this kind of a round pie-shaped window. It has a rectangular window. It has a round window with a scallop that goes around it. And it has a heart window. And then there's also all these little things. There's clouds, there's stars. Also, there's different size hearts. Here's the circle. This is the pie-shaped. And there's also these little arrows. I should have cut some of those. Oops. That you can use. You can either emboss an arrow to show where they spin, or you can cut one out also. So there's these little arrows. And the way these work is you cut out your piece like that. And then you're going to cut out a circle. So for every card, you're going to have a circle, and you're going to have a front piece. And there's this hole in it. And you line this up like this. And that's going to create your window. So you can choose which type of window you want. If you want the pie-shaped window, if you want a circular window. Here's the circular one. You would just line that up. And then the heart is, where did I put the heart? Here it is. Here's the heart. Okay. You could use that. So you just line up the window that you want. And then there's also these other hearts that go with it, that nest with it. So there's a lot that you can do with this. And then there's this square as well. So it kind of depends upon what shapes you're going to be using and what kind of window you want to do. And then it's really cool because there's these little clouds and things as well. So what I thought I would do is show you one tonight with a fall pattern. And like I said before, I have this really cool. So this is the spinner card. And what I'm going to do is show you how to make that tonight. So there's a couple of things that you need for the spinner cards. You need these dies, and which are called the Give It a Whirl dies. And so it's one set of dies. You need some brads. Actually, you only need one brad per card because that's what's going to let it turn. You're going to use the brads in the hole that you create. And then you need the long strips of tape, the dimensional tape. And the reason why is you need to be able to give this room to move. And as you can see here, I used the strips along the bottom, and then I also used one in the middle. You just have to be careful not to get it in the way of this so that this can turn. This particular card that I made is with the cute Halloween paper, which is in the fall catalog. And I used an older stamp set that I had. It's called Spooky Fun, but it is very, very similar to this stamp set, Frightfully Cute, which is available this year. The Witch goes the other way. My stamp set has a row of pumpkins. It doesn't have a black cat, unfortunately. It does have some spiders. It does have the moon, but it's kind of the reverse image of this. And the dies are also very similar. There's a fence with this, and mine has a fence. Actually, I put the fence on the black, so I probably shouldn't have done that. But there is a fence here, and then I put a piece of black underneath so that you could see these tombstones, because the tombstones were getting lost in this candy background. So I did put that other piece of black there. I probably should have used a piece of gray, because then the fence would have stuck out a little bit. So, but the witch is similar, and I have tombstones. So there's, there were a lot of things that I could use on this to just make this card a lot of fun. Anyway, okay, so this is the cute Halloween paper, and it's a 6x6 package, and it has 8 designs on it. So it's very cute. Oops, and I have a lot of these designs upside down. It has these ghosts, skeletons, pumpkins, and cats, bats, and then there's some coordinating designs on the back, a lot of white and black, so which are good to use when it's not Halloween. You can use this paper for non-Halloween things too. So that's the Halloween paper. Beauty of the Earth fall paper, which I love. I love the combination of colors that are in this. I love the blues and the yellows and the Cajun craze, and it's just really pretty paper, and just has nice fall colors. I like this background with the trees, and then this is really pretty with all the red and the Cajun craze and the greens. And then this paper actually looks really good. I've seen people use this for army type cards, for army uniforms. So, and then the back of this looks like this. It's got this wood pattern. Oops, I have that one in there twice. Okay. And it's got this pretty fern design. Like I said, I've got that one in there twice. A solid green. And, yep, okay, that's 2 different greens. And it also has this blue. So what we're going to use today, I've cut a piece of this background paper, and I've cut my piece out ahead of time for the spinner card, and I've got the wheel as well. Hi Cindy, good to see you. And like I said, the key to this card is lining up these, it has this hole in the center, so you just line that up and then you use a brad to put the whole thing together. So this is going to be the base of my card, and for this particular card I wanted to add a piece of designer paper on top. So what I did was I measured, this is 3 3/4 by about 5, maybe 5 3/8. So I just measured a little bit smaller, and I cut a piece of the designer paper. And then I'm going to attach this to that front. Oh, that's a pretty design too. That would work with the ferns for this card. So I'm just going to line that all up. And what's really cool about this is these are all stitched. It's got that stitching around the edges. And now I'm going to trim off this area here. So I'm just going to flip that over and use my scissors. Oops, my scissors are tangled. There we go. Okay, so let me trim that off there. And that's going to create that little space for the spinner. And then again, the piece that's really important is that hole. So I'm going to take my pokey tool and I'm just going to poke through the designer paper so that I've got my hole there. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I need to decide which type of opening I want, and I think I want to use this opening again. So I'm just going to place this here, And I'm going to use a little piece of washi tape to hold that in place, and I'm going to run that through my cutting machine. So I've got the hole lined up. I've got that straight. Okay, I'm just going to run that through my cutting machine. Okay, and now pull that off carefully so I don't rip my designer paper. I've been doing that a lot lately for some reason. The washi tape can be sticky and it can cause that to rip. But so there's our little window. I'm going to put my die back there so I don't lose it. What I want to do is I'm going to, since I'm using this window, I'm going to put this back on here, and I'm going to use a pencil and just draw those areas so I can figure out where things are going to go in that window. And actually our window is going to be a little bit smaller, but that gives you the idea. So now I know where I can put my pieces. So I have a piece of crumb cake, and let's score that in half at 4 1/4. And so eventually this will go on here, and this will go behind. I want to use this Beauty of Friendship, and then I was going to use some of the leaves from this Gorgeous Leaves pattern as well. And I was going to have this tree come up. Oh, actually that may not work. Probably what I need to do is cut the trunk of the tree, because this would be on top of the image once I stamp it. So what I was going to do was stamp the image. Yeah, so that's what I need to do. I need to have the tree. Now what I need to do is stamp the base of the tree. So that when it's spinning around, oops, I hope that part doesn't show. Okay, let me grab. This is where I need a sticky note, because I only want the top of the tree to show. I don't want the base to show. So I'm going to put a sticky note on here. This will make sense in a minute. And I'm going to have the different, so I was going to, my plan was to do the different seasons. So one season would be winter, so the tree would be bare. So now I'm just going to throw that sticky note away because it's all dirty. Okay, so there's my trees. Okay, so one season would be bare, and then next would be, okay, so I need to turn it the way it's going to turn. Okay, so that would be bare. So then next would be spring. So for spring, I was going to stamp with Old Olive, and my plan, this is a 2-part stamp. So there's 2 pieces to this stamp, and you stamp the generic background piece first, and you want that in a lighter color. So I'm using Old Olive, and I'm going to stamp that off so it is lighter. Okay, and there's the background. And then I'm going to stamp the detail in Old Olive, not stamped off, so it's going to be the true Old Olive color. And that gives you your summer tree. I don't feel like I'm explaining this very well, but I think it will make sense once we go around. And then I want to have a fall tree. And so for that tree, I'm going to use Cajun Craze, which is kind of the orangey red, and Cherry Cobbler, which is the red. So I want to use the Cajun Craze. I'm going to take the background, make sure I get the right one. I'm going to stamp that off a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to take the cherry cobbler. So this is going to give me kind of orangey and red trees, which is what the colors that I kind of like for fall. There we go. Okay. Now, is everybody thoroughly confused? Now we're going to put this all together. Okay, and so this is going to go under here, like so. And what I want to do is I want the branch to come down, but I don't want this part. So I'm just going to clip that, because we're going to spin it around and it's going to have different leaves and things. So I'm going to clip that. I'm going to put this on here. And then what we need to do, I guess I'll put that on next. So what I'm going to do is use this piece, the trunk of the tree, to hide the brad that we're going to use. So these are the brads that are in the book. They're the square, let's see, what are they called? They're called round and square brads. So there's a lot of different sizes and shapes in here. I was going to look for, there's a good round one. Okay, so I'm going to push that through. And I'm going to push that through this piece. And actually now, I think before we do this, I will also want to erase my lines. So there's our trunk that we want. And we're going to put this, we're going to line this up like this. Okay, and we're going to fold that brad down. That's got a long tail on it. Okay, so that should allow it, yep, that will spin. Uh-oh. I've got that extra trunk going through. So that's not quite what I would want to do. But actually, let me fix that, because I do have another one here. So, okay, let's take this one off. And we'll fix this and we'll redo that part. Okay, so we're back to our soft suede for our tree. And what I'm going to do is stamp just the tree. And I'm going to put this here. And I want to go straight up. There we go. All right, there we go. That's what I need to do. And what I can do is there's a faint image here from when you use the die to cut that out. So it does show those triangular pie-shaped pieces. So you can kind of see where you're stamping. Okay, and this is called masking. When you cover something up and you only use the piece of the stamp that you want to use. So this is a really good thing that you can do when you're doing, if you're doing sentiments and you only want part of the sentiment, you can ink up the whole thing and then use a piece of tape over the words that you don't want. Or you can take a wipe and clean off the part that you don't want. So, okay, so if this is our winter, then when it turns, this would be our spring. So let's make that the green again. So we'll do the old olive. It's funny, this afternoon I had this all in my head and I didn't think through the part of the whole tree coming down, you know, the trunk hanging down. Okay, so there's the light. Pretty. Okay, so we've got winter, spring, so this one will be fall. And again, that will be Cajun Craze and Cherry Cobbler. Good thing I cut an extra circle. It's the full. I love this tree set. It's very pretty. And the way they did the leaves with the two-part, it makes it so pretty. Because you can just mix the colors and, you know, get different shading and things. So it's a very pretty tree set. Every time they retire a tree set and then they come out with a new one, I'm shocked because I love trees. I love gardens and trees and all of that. And okay, so now we'll line this up. But every time they come out with a new tree set, I'm like, oh, I'm going to miss that other one so much. But then they come out with something that's different and is actually better, or that works better. Okay, so this is how this is going to look. So this would be the winter tree. Oops, it'll be a little bit crooked. Okay, so I'm going to flatten my brad. I'm going to put the tree trunk over the brad. So I've got my long dimensional strip. Oops, and I cut a little too much. I just cut some of that off. And peel the backing off. Oops. So it does work, it spins. Okay, so I'm going to put my tree trunk like this. So the tree trunk would always be there, and then it would go, okay, so we're going to start with the winter tree. And then we've got the spring tree. And then we've got the fall tree. Okay, so as I mentioned before, the things that are really important with this are the brads, the long pieces of dimensional that are strips. What was the third piece? Oh my gosh. Oh, the dies, of course. You can't do this without the dies. So, okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, where did I put that strip? There it is. So I'm going to use this strip down here. And again, you really want to be careful that you don't get in the way of this. So I'm going to put this at the very top. But the reason why you want to use these dimensionals, you could use a dimensional here and a dimensional there, and then some here and maybe one down here. But what's nice about these is these are long enough, it just gives it enough room to float. And it, if you're just using regular round dimensional here and here, then this, it may not move as easily because it could, this part could kind of sink in to the card and get caught up on the card. So, peel these off. There we go. And there we go. So, when you move this around, it will spin. And there's our winter tree. Our spring tree, and our fall tree. And now what I was planning on doing was I have a bunch of leaves It's too bad I can't make this part pop up a little bit to make that, because this looks very flat compared to this. But well, maybe I shouldn't use this. Let's see. I'm going to try peeling that up. Maybe I shouldn't use that on dimensionals. Everything is an experiment. There we go. Actually, that might be better. Okay, so I've covered up my brad. I've got a little piece of tape there. Got it. Okay. Yeah, that might be better, because now it doesn't look so like it's completely popped up. Okay, and what I have done is I've used the Gorgeous Leaves set, and that has a lot of different leaf dies in it. It actually has a lot of dies in it, and it doesn't have that many leaf stamps, but it does have some pretty dies. So I've cut out a bunch of leaves, and I have used the Sizzix paper on the back, the double-sided sticky strip. And I've got these pretty birds that I can add. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off this back piece, and I was going to pile the leaves up down on the bottom. October 2nd, which is a week from this Saturday, is World Card Making Day, and it's also my 20th anniversary with Stampin' Up! So I am going to be doing an event for World Card Making Day, and it's going to be set up the same format as what I used for my new catalog kickoff when the new annual catalog came out. And I'm going to have some stamping challenges, and this is for anybody that wants to join. I'll do a kickoff on Friday night and show you some of the challenges and things. And then Saturday, I'll sign on at noon. We'll have a private Facebook group. I'll sign on at noon, and we have the whole day open to stamp. And then at the end of the day, at 5 o'clock, I'm going to do a bingo game, and I'll also have some other games throughout the day with prizes and things. I have lots of stuff to give away. Fun. So you guys will have unlimited access to me for the day on Saturday, and you can ask questions, you can send me a message, and if there's things that you would like to learn, just let me know ahead of time, and I can plan kind of a little technique demo. For those that are participating, you'll be receiving a half a package of the deer Christmas paper, which has some really pretty plaids, Christmas plaids in it. It's all reds and darker colors. It's just really pretty. And oops, my bird's going to get stuck. Nope, that's not going to work. I wasn't sure how something like that would work. So maybe I can't put the bird on there. And if people are local to me, so my regular customers that used to come here, you can come here. And what I'm going to do is I will connect my laptop to my big TV that I have here, and I will broadcast. So it will be like we're all working together in the same room. Those of you that are remote, we'll be working from your craft room, and anyone that wants to come over will be working here from my craft room. So I'll set up a couple of tables around my TV, and we'll broadcast from my TV. So this is my card for tonight, and I want to actually, there's a piece for the inside. I hadn't thought about what I was going to use on the back part of the inside, so let's do this. Let's put this here. And that is October 2nd, which is World Card Making Day. So as I said, each participant will receive a half a package of the deer, the reindeer paper, which is really pretty paper. And you'll receive 4 cards that we'll assemble together. We'll work on and assemble together. And then, as I mentioned, we'll have some challenges also. So I think it will be fun. Should be a fun day. And I've got lots of games. So you can brush up on your stamping techniques and stamping terminology. Okay, I like that. That will make a pretty design. Maybe I should do that going down this. Yeah, I'm going to do that going down the side. Oops. So I'm looking forward to it. I just didn't realize that my 2 days until I wrote out on my calendar tonight that one's the 30th and the next one's the 2nd. So they're 2 days apart. But it will be fun. Okay, and I love this saying that goes with this. You truly inspire me. That's my favorite saying out of this stamp set. And here's the stamp set. Oops. There's my dies. So the stamp set has the thinking of you, I believe in you, hello, you truly inspire me, friendships refresh the soul. That's a good one too. So let's stamp this in the cherry cobbler, which is the dark red. And I just got red ink all over my hand. There we go. Okay. So there's my cards tonight with the Give It a Whirl die set. I should say die set because it's not a stamp set. And I just think it's really cute. Yep. There we go. And here's the Halloween one that I did. So, thank you for stopping by tonight. Hi Robin, how are you? What is the name of the die to make the spinner? It's called Give It a Whirl dies, and it is on page 67 of the annual catalog. It is a versatile set. You can use it for you could use it for anything. You could use it for birthday things. In the catalog, it's with a kid's birthday set called Stellar Birthday, where it's a couple of kids that are dressed up as Martians and or space people, and they're playing that they're floating in a spaceship, and it's a cute set, but it doesn't have to be used for kids things. You know, there's so many things that you can use it for. So, and yes, it's very versatile. And like I said, it's really cool because it does allow you to do different shaped windows. I use this pie window, but you can use a square, you can use a circle, you can use the heart, and you can actually line these windows up and do multiple ones around as well. So if you want things to show from this window and this window at the same time, you can line these windows up and do them and do multiple windows. So, and actually this one, if you line it up, it looks like a 4-leaf clover. I should say a 4-leaf clover or a 3-leaf clover. But okay. So thanks for stopping by. If you're not on my mailing list, go out to stampwithmarilyn.com and sign up for my mailing list. As I mentioned, I will be sending out the information tomorrow for my class next Thursday, Stamping for Everyone, and my class for World Card Making Day. And that class is for everyone also. Thanks. Take care. If you have any questions, just post some comments and I will get back to you. Have a great night.